Guys, this is Lauren Hollows for NOI Education Services, and today we are doing a CRICOS update for RTOs. We hope you have your house in order. Now, I've been saying it for a while, guys. We've had a cruisy couple of years when it has come to ASQA's regulation. However, all of that is well and truly set to change. And the first cab off the mark is definitely going to be CRICOS providers based on the slew of announcements that we've seen from various departments and ministers over the last couple of weeks. To quote an article from The Australian recently, the government is particularly concerned about more than 200 providers that currently have visa refusal rates higher than 50%. Up to May, 270,000 international students started new courses in Australia, 60% higher than in the same period last year. The huge expansion has brought with it thousands of non-genuine students aided by dodgy education agents and a growing number of disreputable colleges. Now, anytime any of these things hit, they hit us all, they hit hard, and they often hit the newspapers. So the rule of thumb is, guys, I hope you've used the last 2 years to get your houses in order. Now, some of the first areas that I would be looking at if I was running an international college at the moment is my concurrent enrollments. Many of you would have seen in the last 6 weeks, potentially your enrollments tank if you were strongly reliant on concurrent enrollments, and if you're strongly reliant on onshore students. So rule number 1 is diversify your market. Make sure that you're taking students from a wide range of countries, and make sure that you've got a decent enough range of qualifications that are going to interest students from a range of different backgrounds. That is definitely going to help you from a business perspective get through what are likely to be a difficult couple of years. Now, the enrollments are going to continue to increase. However, what we definitely are going to see is we're going to see the makeup of a lot of those students change. Certainly, students that were coming in from countries such as India, that's definitely seen a massive dip over the last couple of weeks, primarily because there was a roundabout way that they were getting through before, and the Department of Immigration has sought to cut that off pretty quickly. Now, one of the other things is going to be in relation to agents. Now, thankfully, the government has finally clued in that there are a range of education agents out there. And before anyone says anything, yes, there are definitely some good education agents that do the right thing, that help along with RTOs to make sure that students are fully informed and that they're choosing students who are genuine learners. However, what I will say is the industry is absolutely replete with dodgy providers who really couldn't give a shit about the students and really only care about seeing how much money they can screw out of them and screw out of RTOs in the process. If you are an RTO that is paying 50% for your learners, I'm telling you now, you're getting screwed. Okay, there is absolutely no reason why you should be paying 50% for an enrollment. And realistically, it's very unlikely that you could actually provide a quality course to your students with that sort of a margin. Okay. Additionally, I have never seen an agent that is worth 50%. I'll say that again. I have absolutely never seen an agent in the 15 years of working in this industry that deserves anywhere near 50% for the so-called work that they do to get the students into the country. They also don't take the time to actually inform the students about the qualification. They don't make sure that the student even cares about the qualification, and it really is purely a transactional exercise. Now, if you're working with somebody who really only cares about things from a transactional perspective, you're working with the wrong person. That goes if you are a student, if you are an agent, or if you are an RTO. If you're working with somebody who is purely transactional and really only cares about getting you supposed numbers so that they can get a larger share of the cake or whatever, you're working with the wrong person. These are exactly the type of people that are going to be targeted over the next couple of months and years, rightly so, because they bring down the overall reputation of Australia in relationship to we are one of the highest quality providers when it comes to international education. It's one of the exports that we should take and hold near and dear to our hearts, and it's something that we should be avidly protecting. So getting your house in order, you do have requirements as an RTO to actually check your agents to see the information that they're providing. You have this requirement not only under the RTO standards, under standards 2, 7, 8, I can go on, but you also have these requirements under the CRICOS and ESOS Act as well, specifically in relationship to how you manage your agents. So things like doing annual checks on them, making sure that they're participating in regular PD, making sure and doing checks with your students upon enrollment that they were fully informed about the course, that they weren't misinformed about the course. Two of the most common quote unquote misconceptions of students. I just thought if I had to pay fees, I didn't actually have to do anything, or I didn't have to rock up to class. Okay. There is absolutely no way that if your agent has passed this sort of information on to students, that they are anything other than dodgy pieces of scum. So again, I know that this is going to be controversial. I'm well aware that there are multiple education agents that hate me. I'll be honest, guys, I don't care. If you're an education agent that is doing your job, you should be working your ass off, and you still only deserve maybe 20%. Okay, the work is in the training, the assessment, and the support services. That is what the responsibility of RTOs is. That is where the hard work goes in. I understand that marketing and enrollment and getting students through their visa processes can be challenging. However, again, I've seen far too many education agents that really just do say to students, pay the fees, and all you need to do is pay the fees. You don't have to attend classes. You don't have to complete your assessments. And if you get to a school and that's the case, we'll just move you once you get onshore. And so they actually use the better schools that actually do the training and assessment, and then funnel them off into a dodgy school once they're onshore, because it's definitely easier to move students once they're onshore. So if you're a student and you're being used in this way, you should be reporting your agent to ASQA. If you're a student and you're being used in this way, there's absolutely, once you're onshore, you do not need your agent. Okay, in any way, shape, or form. They help you to get onshore. They help you to find the right school for you. That is their job. Once you're onshore, you can do that by yourself. Okay, there is heaps of websites. There's lots of colleges around. If the school that you've got is dodgy as the day is long, there are plenty of good schools where you can actually learn the skills that you need to learn. And if you're an RTO, you have a responsibility over these people. I'm sorry, you do. If you sign an agreement with them, you have a responsibility. They are a representative of you. You should be auditing them. You should be doing regular checks with them. I work with RTOs that have 20 to 30 auspice school agreements. We're in touch with the schools on a fortnightly basis. We know all of the trainers. We provide regular PD. We do regular checks on them. There is absolutely no reason why you can't be doing the same thing. That is a requirement that you have under ESOS, under RTO standards. And if you don't think that this is going to be a fairly rigorous process that occurs over the next 2 years, I can pretty much guarantee you, if you are a CRICOS RTO, you're going to get regular checks until you go through your re-reg. You are going to have audits over the next couple of years, and you should be able to provide solid evidence that you are managing your agents, that you are providing the training and assessment that you promised to your students, and that you are providing them with all of the opportunities that you're required to provide them with, and that includes placement. Okay. It includes making sure that your students are showing up. It includes making sure that your students are progressing through their qualifications. If you are not doing those things, you are going to be in trouble, and you can expect to face full sanctions by ASQA and by the ministers. I know this one wasn't quite as positive, guys, but it is important in our industry to understand that when the bad guys get tarnished, it tends to hit us all. It certainly did when it came to vet fee help. It certainly did when it came to international students back in 2009. It did it again in 2013-14. International students are always one of our most precious imports and exports, because international education is a $1 billion industry in our country. We need to appreciate it. We need to appreciate what international students bring to our shores. They certainly make it a lot easier for small businesses. There are a lot of industries that very strongly rely on international students. And if we are not taking care of those students, then the countries rightfully are not going to want to send them to us. They're here to learn skills, to get them into employment and potentially build careers from that. And that is our responsibility as RTOs. Thank you very much, guys. If you do have any questions, you're welcome to drop them below. I'm more than happy to answer them. If you're an education agent and you want to dislike this video, go straight ahead. I've got absolutely no issues with that. By all means, guys, if you do disagree with me, feel free to duke it out, but do so respectfully in the comments below. My name is Lauren Hollows, and I'm from Anawaya Education Services.